Hi, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room. So, welcome, and we love being here for you with quality and value to inspire and to transform. Remember, we are on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and iTunes. Today, as usual, we have a special guest to share with you for your development and growth and to live your better informed life. So, grab a cup, pull up a seat, and stay tuned for the introduction. Right here, now, live in the breakout room. It's the place for health, happiness, and prosperity. Stay tuned. Okay, our special guest here on the breakout room is none other than Amanda Lemon. So, here's the introduction. Our next guest in the breakout room is the dynamic and engaging Amanda Lemon. Amanda is an Emmy award-winning TV producer, host of Foster Ed the podcast, motivational speaker, author and entrepreneur. She's also owner and CEO at todaysway.com, owner and CEO at didyouhear.com. This is her podcast. Amanda is always a phone call away waiting to help you with her resilience and her forte. And her engaging smile. With the same tenacity she used to cope with childhood abuse, Amanda developed the 5 method featured in her memoir, The Fostered One. She now serves globally, speaking to divorcees, parents of incarcerated children, foster children, and parents and those suffering from PTSD. So, let's welcome this resilient guest live in the breakout room. None other than Amanda Lemon.
That was beautiful.
Wow, I am so glad that you loved it. I took my time and thought about, hey, how is the best way to highlight my guest? She's such a dynamic personality, and yeah, that's what we came up with. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for appearing on our show today. How are you, Mandy?
Oh
How are
my goodness. I am so excited to be here and so thankful. And I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Uh-huh.
I have worked in TV news and broadcasting, and that intro, I'm like, is he talking about me? And then I saw him. Oh, okay, yeah. That's me. That's
you.
amazing. That was gorgeous. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that. That just inspired me and
Uh-huh.
got a little fire because I'm a little tired today, but I'm
Uh-huh.
excited. That was beautiful.
I love that. I love that. And
Wow.
you are the one that inspired us to bring that to the fore. So kudos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. So, Amanda, what I want to do is to give you the opportunity to tell us about Amanda Lemon, maybe in the time when she now began to recognize who she was. And
Wow.
that's usually between the ages of 7, 8, 9, the basic
Mhm.
foundational ages of our adult life comes from that period of time. You want to
Wow.
share some of that with us, please?
Yes, that's a great question. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be completely transparent with you. I realize kind of the tenacity that I had. I'll
Uh-huh.
have to go back with this story to
Yeah.
just give an
Yeah.
example. I grew up in an orphanage after a horrific situation with my biological family. My father killed my
Uh-huh.
mother, and I grew up in an orphanage children's home in
Yeah.
Eastern Kentucky. With that
Mm-hmm.
said, to answer your question, at I think I'm 8 years old. We're going to say 8 years
Uh-huh.
old,
Yeah.
8 or 9. And there were a group of us who'd been playing outside. And I am 5'2.5" now, about 135 pounds on a good day. So you can
Okay.
imagine a 7 to 8 year old me. So at the end of the day, we were playing, we were picking up these bricks, and I wasn't picking up these bricks and moving them to build a little fort. Well, I couldn't do that. Heck, I can barely lift anything now. So the
Mm-hmm.
children's home master that I was with at the time came out and said, hey, you did this. You need to
Yeah.
put these all back over. And I
Right.
sit there thinking to myself, okay, first of all, I didn't do it. Second of all, how am I going to pick these concrete bricks up? How am I going to do it? And she said, you're not coming inside until you do or having anything to eat. So I
Mm.
thought, okay, it's summer. I'm hot. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. How can I do this? How can I
Yeah.
do this? All the other children had to go inside. It's a true story. My friends will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the bricks. There were about 8 of them. And I thought, okay, how can I do this most efficiently? Well,
Mm-hmm.
with that tenacity that I had, she didn't say how I had to do it. She didn't say anything. So I went and got a wheelbarrow, flipped them in there, and drug it and put it in. And within 30 minutes, because she figured it was going to take all night, but using my brain, that
Yeah.
outwitting, and she meant it for my harm. She meant it
Okay.
for my harm at that time.
Okay.
She meant
Okay.
for me to be punished for something that I didn't do, because she knew I couldn't do that. But
Right.
she knew at that moment that she had me, and I'd probably be out there all night if I didn't think quickly. And I did. That's the
Yes.
same tenacity that I have when I
Mm-hmm.
was 7, 8, 9 years old has carried me through life. And I feel like we all have that within us.
Yeah.
The game that you've been playing, even when you were little, you wanted to win. So where does that go when we become adults?
Yes.
That want to win attitude and I'm not quitting. It gets sucked out of us because of life circumstances. But I found mine again. And that's why we're sitting here today.
Wonderful. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Mandy. Now, as time grew along and you became a teenager and you went into adulthood, tell us some of the pivoting moments that created the difference in your life. And then that sense of awareness became even larger for you. Just share some of those moments with us, please.
I'm a Christian and I believe in faith and a higher power, whether that's Allah, whoever you decide, but I believe we all have a higher power within us. And I was standing at what we call a tent revival in Eastern Kentucky,
Okay.
where I'm from. And a lady walked up to me and she said, I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but I'm supposed to tell you this. And I may cry. She said, God told me to tell you that everything that you've been through is for a purpose.
Okay.
And he told me to tell you that you will speak to millions. And here I am. I'm standing in clothes that are 4 sizes too big because that's, all we had at the orphanage.
Uh-huh.
I'm standing here, just scared to death. And then I turned around and this woman's gone.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'm getting chills. I don't know if she was an angel, but she set me on that path by just saying that God had a purpose for me and for me to look for the future. So I have a Bible verse that's on my wrist. Jeremiah 29:11. That's for I know the plans for you for your future.
Yes.
So the moment may not be
Amen to
right.
that. Amen to that. Yes.
The moment may not be right now. The moment may not be working for you at this moment. But the technique that you talked about, the 5 that I developed, that's in my memoir, the fostered one, it literally has been a growth process that I have developed, and I've always done it. I've done it when I've been able to cope with great situations. I do have post-traumatic stress disorder, and I realized that 5 technique has been within me, and it was something that I think was given probably at that moment because I knew I had a hope and a future, and that's where that goes.
Wonderful. So far, you have been awesomely inspiring. But I just want to get so close to home as to what your emotions were and your passion were. And I'm sensing that for every period of your life, there was something that you learned.
Oh, yes.
I want you to share with us the thing that struck you the most, the thing that reached out to you the most in terms of what you learned that has had that impact on your life. I'm hearing the word resilience.
Yes, resilience. It doesn't end you. That moment, that situation, that is probably the biggest overwhelming theme throughout my life, whether it is I'm recently divorced. I thought it was going to end me. It didn't. It propelled me. I thought when my mother died, because my mother, as we came up on Mother's Day, she sacrificed her life saving me. When I thought when I lost my mom and went to the orphanage, I'm going to be trapped here for the rest of my life. No one cares. I'm a little Black girl in Eastern Kentucky. No offense. Things are better back now, back in the day. But I'm a little Black girl whose Black father killed her white mother and no one wanted me. So I remember sitting there being told by people in the religious community that I was going to go to hell because I was biracial. And I remember going to churches in Eastern Kentucky and being called a not so nice word with the N on front of it and asked to leave. So but that tenacity and overwhelming theme that has gone through my life has to hands down be, you can get through this. You can get through this. And I know that seems at the moment, just like I will just talk about my divorce for a second. Going through the divorce, I was married for almost 20 years in a relationship with my ex-husband, who's a great person, who's my friend to this day. But when that relationship ended, I remember standing there thinking, I have no home. I parked my car somewhere and didn't know where my car was. I didn't know where my car was because I was so lost in my mind, and I had no money. And I remember thinking, this is it. I have nothing else in my life. I've completed my purpose. The kids are there. Everything is done. And then God spoke again. You're not done. Yes. You are not done until you take that last breath. You have a purpose on this planet. Each of us do. Each of us have a purpose.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you, Mandy. Coming out of that, I really want to know, and I'm sure that those who are listening would be interested to know as well. How did you develop the mindset that give you the tenacity that has put you here today? What triggered something in you that made you reach to that point where you said, you know what, I'm not going to let this break me, but I'm going to let it help me to make me. And look at this. Look at the fantastic product. What was that pivoting moment like for you?
Now, as you indicated, there's been several moments throughout my life, different stages that have had pivotal, I'm not going to lay down moments. One of those, I was a foster mother, and I adopted a little boy, and he was not in the best frame of mind, we'll say, and shot into the wrong home and blinded a 5-year-old in a drive-by shooting. So that moment is one of those pivotal moments where it broke me. And that's when I remember sitting outside. I had a pool at my other home, and I remember sitting outside thinking to myself, I had it all, I had everything, and it's lost now. Yeah. But the drive, that there was something that spoke within me, and I don't know if it was anger, frustration, pissed off, but it literally just blew me up. Like, it made me mad. So I took that anger, to be completely I took the cussing and the kicking, and I started working out. And I started going to church. I started meditating. I started doing all of those things to better myself. Because if I'm not whole and I'm not healthy, I can't help anyone else. And it's been a journey.
Okay, great. Listen, I just want to play something for you. And it's a very short video, because I'm trying to kind of create a kind of light moment. And I want you to tell us what you wanted to accomplish by this. It's short. It's kind of light in humor, but I think also it's profound what you're saying. So stand by.
Hey, you. Somebody lied to you. No offense. They told you you could not have everything you want. That's why. Now go get it. It's true.
Wow. What? I mean, that was impactful. So simple, but impactful.
Sorry, that makes me tear up every time I see that.
Oh my goodness. But Amanda, you see, the thing is, so many people are hurting because they don't understand that the world, the universe, even though all men were not born equal, but all men were created equal. And the same level of success that other people have, you can have it too.
Yes.
And all is not lost. But we seem to forget that, we are here for a purpose. But how do you get people to refocus and to go back to a place where they say, you know what? I'm here because God wants me here. Therefore, there's something here for me. I'm going to get it. How do we get people back to that place?
I got back to that place where I could make that statement and believe it after I was stripped of everything. And sometimes God has to humble us, or the universe has to humble us. But since then, I have been manifesting this life, and I believe in manifestation. It's in the Bible. As man thinks in his heart, so is he. And I believe that you can have the life that you want, and you're creating the life that you have now. And I know that seems deep and dark. And I had someone, and I saw something, let me rephrase that. I saw someone say something the other day. So did I create my father murdering my mother? No, but maybe
My.
they did. Maybe they created that. So my
Mm.
manifestation though is to get out of that hole and to dig it, to dig deeper and to be able to be a blessing to someone. So my mantra has always been to use my mess for my message. And your
All right.
mess, no matter what
All
it may
right.
be, let's say it's your divorce, your child
Mm-hmm.
incarcerated, you're
Mm-hmm.
literally your dog, you are learning something and you can teach someone else something from your
Yeah.
mess. And
Okay.
that is where that comes from. So when I see
Okay.
that post, that girl was a long time coming, and I'm glad she's here.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. Tell us a bit about your upcoming memoir. I know it's going to be powerful. What are we
Yes.
to expect?
So you'll walk through from my childhood, from my first memory when I was about 3.5, 4 years old, of me going sleeping in a hallway
Uh-huh.
because my aunt wouldn't let us in her house. We were homeless quite a bit
Wow.
when I was a
Wow.
child. So you'll go through that. Then
Yeah.
we'll go into the horrific night that my father brutally stabbed my mother 40 times, stabbed me 13,
Mm.
raped me over, and then we'll fast forward and we'll bounce back and forth. Part of this book is also about the foster children that I've encountered as a journalist who
Yeah.
fell through the cracks of the system.
Okay.
So we'll talk about some of the deaths and impacts that those have had, and the impact that had post-traumatic stress disorder has on foster children who essentially have mental illness because of just going into care. It came out
Yeah.
today. There's a
Yeah.
research epic that came out today that said foster children are twice as
Mm-hmm.
likely and have
Mm-hmm.
more in-depth types of mental illness than a
Yeah.
war veteran. So you can
Wow.
imagine seeing my mother
Wow.
killed. So I'm kind of a crap show sometimes, to be honest. But you never know. So with
Wow.
that said, the book also talks about the triumphs in my life. My ex-husband proposed to me at the Vatican in Rome. And then
Ah.
we lived in, yeah, so I've traveled the world. My favorite place in the world is Curacao. I haven't been to Trinidad yet, but
Wow.
my favorite
Yeah.
place in the world is I had a beautiful life, but
Okay.
mental illness, alcohol, crime destroyed that. And now I'm
Mhm.
rebuilding myself because I don't believe, and I talk about again the things that I've done as I've rebuilt this life that I'm in. But the overall theme of that book is your mess is your message, and you
Uh-huh.
don't have to just lay down and let someone continually hurt you,
Yes.
whether physically or
Powerful. Powerful. Thank you for sharing. Um, May is supposed to be National Foster Care Month,
yes,
and ironically, it's also the month where I believe on Sunday we'll have a celebration of Mother's Day.
yes.
How is it for you emotionally, having come from those traumatic situations and having to deal with your own family, but you can't pay that tribute to your mom because she's not here? How do you balance those feelings?
Mother's Day has always. So you're making me cry. Mother's
It's
Day
all
is
right. It's all
traditionally
right.
very, very hard for me and for everyone, for mothers of infertility, for mothers of children who are incarcerated, and for essentially if you've lost your parent. But for me this year, it's going to be even doubly hard because I'm here in Florida. My mother is gone. And the short answer of that is I just honor her on that day by doing things that she loved me so intently. She gave her life for me, and greater love
Uh-huh.
hath no man. So on that day, I just honor her by taking care of my health and wellness, and by, I usually buy something that I would have bought for her for myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
she would have wanted that for me. She wouldn't want me to sit here. My mother was tenacious. She fought if the autopsy report on my mother was, it's very graphic, but she was gutted. Like the knife was taken down her chest, and somehow the wherewithal and the love of a mother, she pushed me out on a second-story roof and used her
Yeah,
body to shield me
yeah.
and save me. And
Wow.
I truly believe that I have so much of my tenacity and my
Hmm.
push forward because I
Yeah.
can think back in my mind. If my mom was being murdered, I can get through this. She said, I have dedicated my book to my
Yeah.
mother.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. Mandy, here's the thing. One of the main reasons why I asked you that question, and I knew it was going to be emotional for you, is that people have been through similar situations. and
Yes.
they came out very skated, very hurt, very
Yes.
scarred,
Mhm.
and bitter, and have not been able to overcome. But you are a model of consistency as far as recovery, resilience, and strength are concerned. And I think that they need to hear how you did it, how you heal. I mean, the process is continuing. I know it's
Yes.
never over, because it would seem like
Yes.
fresh in your mind and your memory. But at the end of the day, you look forward to so many wonderful things in your life. And people need to know that. They need to feel that. They need to hear it from somebody who's been there, done that. And your story is so powerful. We appreciate you. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Thank you. Oh,
Wonderful.
thank you so much.
On
My
that note,
my
yeah.
resilience comes from literally take it 5 seconds. And while you're in that 5 seconds,
Uh-huh.
while the crap is happening for that
Uh-huh.
5 seconds,
Yeah.
take it in, know where you are. And then there's something I find the 5 good things in that room. Okay, the lights are on, the computer's
Uh-huh.
working, I have water sitting beside me. And that will change. I study vibrations. It will change your vibration. 5 seconds. That's all I'm
Yeah.
asking you for is
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mandy. That is
Thank you.
powerful stuff. So, on that note, people, we're going to go on a quick commercial break. Our special guest live in the breakout room, Amanda Lemon, and she's sharing some beautiful, inspirational, valuable stuff with us. So, stand by as we go on this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you shortly. FindRadioGuest.com, the place to click to find guests to interview for free. And if you're a radio show booker, podcaster, talk show host, or television producer, then this is the place to get podcasts and radio interviews or promote your books and products as a guest expert sponsor. FindRadioGuest.com. Check it out. Hi, people. This is a special invitation for you to join our community. Yes, we're inviting you to join our community for 2022. What's in store? Well, what we want is your feedback on our content and our guests, but more so on what you need to be inspired and transformed from your current condition to one of happiness, health, and prosperity. So drop us a line and reach out. Help us to better help you achieve your goals. So, people, inbox me at www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. That's www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. Or send me an email at lovebitsa@gmail.com. That's lovebitsa@gmail.com. We love hearing from you as we build our partnership in growth and development, and we look forward to your communicating. Help us to help you to live a better life in personal growth and development from Andy's Personal Development. We love you. We look forward to hearing from you. See you soon. Bye for now. Okay, we are back with Mandy Lemon in the breakout room on the Love Bits A channel. This is Andy, your agent for health, happiness, and prosperity. Mandy, we have been told and we have been taught that only people who have been through wars and situations similar to wars suffer from PTSD. But now we know that's not true. How can we help people to recognize the signs and symptoms of PTSD? What can we ask them to be aware of and to look for?
I love that question. I love that. I was misdiagnosed as having a severe mental illness of bipolar disorder until I found the right therapist, and it truly
Okay.
was post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a plethora of medications that I did not need to be on because I didn't value myself enough to research, and not
Yeah.
everything on the internet is true. Let me clarify that, but I
All
didn't
right.
value myself enough to understand that my symptoms were not bipolar disorder. They were from a craptastic childhood,
Uh-huh.
some bad things that happened as an adult. So as for the signs, one of the biggest sign is you almost have an out of body experience
Mm-hmm.
when something terrible happens. And that can be, or even something simple as hearing a loud sound
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
make you hyper aware.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest signs. And then one of the next things that I noticed in myself is I wouldn't remember what had happened to me or what I'd said or what I'd done, in a situation where I'd gotten into a heated argument with my ex-husband. I wouldn't remember that. He'd say, well, you said this. And I'm like, well, I didn't say that. Because the post-traumatic stress disorder, I was in fight or flight for so long that it literally, my body, if you've not read The Body Keeps the Score, that's a great book. My body was keeping score. And at the time of this, I went from about 92 pounds to over 275 pounds. If you can believe that, you can look back at pictures. Because my body was keeping so much trauma. And it wasn't what I was eating. I'm eating the same thing I am now. But my body was keeping so much trauma in it that it was protecting itself. So your body does keep a score. I say advocate for yourself. If someone says that you will have think about your childhood, sit down, and I hate to say this, but go through things. You're like, okay, this was not okay. Me being molested as a child, me being physically and mentally abused, those things that trigger moments in my life where I am either hyper emotional or I'm going to kick somebody's booty, so those are usually you have those two highs or those two lows.
Wow. Amazing. And I'm learning so much. Thank you for sharing, Mandy. On a lighter note, you were an Emmy award-winning TV producer.
Yes.
How did you accomplish that, and what was that experience like for you?
You notice I just sat back and took a deep breath, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So my Emmy is a part of a team, Emmy. I want to make sure that everybody knows that that's very clear. We put this together, a newscast. We had a horrific tornado come through Lexington, Kentucky, and it was a Category 5, and it wiped out homes. I remember that. I'm getting chills telling you. I remember that night thinking, okay, this is not going to be okay. Luckily, no one died. We couldn't believe it. My neighborhood, I would walk out the door and it would be decimated. But I loved being a TV producer, and I love being a TV reporter. The camaraderie that comes with telling someone's story. And I've had someone say I'm a good storyteller. Well, that's innate in me. That's just who I am. I love to tell stories, and I love to hear other people's stories. I will sit and listen to you talk for hours on end. I meet people in the grocery store and tell them my whole life. But honestly, my favorite, that broadcast was just scary. And then after September 11th happened over here, I was out for 3 days as a TV reporter. Well, intermittently. But that was a good time in my life.
Wow, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. What do you see your role is in the future going forward in terms of how you want to continue to impact positively on the lives of people? Is there something specific that you have in mind, or are you just going to go with the flow now?
No.
Or are you going to just wait till it comes and then it's a reactionary something? How do you deal with your future plans?
My future plans are continuing to make appearances with you guys. I do motivational speaking. I think we're going to give my information in a little bit. So when I do travel, I do have a passport. So I do motivational speaking about turning your mess into your message. In addition to that, as an advocate for foster children who age out, when I left foster care at the age of 18, I went to college with $5 American. And that was it. $5 American. And there has to be, for my advocacy, what I'm going to work with and continue working on is building a bill that would allow foster children to be able to receive some sort of stipend nationally or even globally as they age out. Because once I went to college, everyone says, oh, you're going to get free college. Well, who was going to buy my clothes? Who was going to pay for me to go to McDonald's to be with my friend? I had no money. I had nothing. And the aging out is going to be even greater because we had such a loss of people who had COVID, and that has created a large gap of children who are in foster care. So that is absolutely forefront to my core, is to make sure that foster children, even if you don't have, and we're not talking millions of dollars to one child, but we're talking about being able to make sure this child can eat. I know the cafeteria food, well, they can eat cafeteria food. Why don't I deserve to be able to go to Applebee's? So,
I
I
hear
want to
you. I
suffer
hear
enough.
you.
Give me $100 a week so I can at least enjoy college the way that I can't, way that see, this frustrates me. That fires me up. You want to fire me?
I hear the passion. I hear the passion.
That is
Understood.
my passion. You
Understood.
expecting foster children who they're leaving in trash bags and in grocery bags and sending me off to college. And what am I going to eat? What am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something that's very, very, very passionate to me.
Wow. I appreciate your passion, and
It
wow.
makes me mad.
It's so real. It's so real. Thank you
Mhm.
so much,
Yes.
Mandy, for sharing. Um, I'm trying to figure out, and I think I have a sense of understanding, but would like to hear it from you. What is your big why? What keeps you
Oh,
getting up in the morning and then triggers you out through the day? What is that big aha thing for you?
my why changes daily, and I'm going to
Uh-huh.
be that's I'm going to go long and short. So my
Yeah.
why changes daily. My why currently, my big why, is
Yeah.
because I don't want another little girl to go to college and
Mm.
stand in her dorm room with a pack of bologna and $5 and make bad decisions.
Wow.
I don't want a little boy
Mm-hmm.
to go to college or not know he can't go to college because he doesn't have money. At least in the States, most foster parents receive some sort of stipend for having those children in their home.
Yeah.
I am advocating for us to put a percentage of that money. If we
Mm-hmm.
can't get the government to give us
Mm-hmm.
as foster children money to go forth into college, I'm advocating and asking foster parents set up that
Yeah.
savings account so that when the next little Amanda goes to college, she can buy a car, she can go to dinner, she can get her hair done, she can get her nails done, so that she can, we're in a modern world. I mean, girls want to look cute, guys want to go to a basketball game. What if I
Yeah.
wanted to go to
Yeah.
a basketball game there on campus? That costs money. What if I wanted a soda, a bottle of water? Those it's the concept that we are sending someone who has no family to college or out into
Yeah.
the world with nothing. You don't even do that with your pets.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
make sure our pets are either, and I don't want the word, we make sure they go to good homes that have fences,
Mm-hmm.
and we're sending our foster children out into the world without a place to sleep. That's
Yeah.
Am I not
Yeah.
good enough? Because I didn't
Mm.
put me here. I didn't put me in foster care. A circumstance did. And now
Yeah.
you're asking me to there has to be mental health availability to those foster children as well, up to a certain age, because the statistics show, it's devastating. It's paramount that we also educate them, because, and I'm gonna leave you. It's passion for me on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Foster children are 1 in 4 people incarcerated. So think about 4 people in a
Wow.
room. If they're
Wow.
children,
Yeah.
1 in 4, they're a
Yeah.
former foster child, and
Yeah.
they've been incarcerated out of foster care within 24 months, within 2 years.
Mm. Sad.
It's
It's so
horrible.
sad. Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna take a breather. That is so. I mean, listen, it's really sad. It's horrible,
Mhm. Mhm.
but like you said before, there is so much more that we can look forward to. And you
Yes.
spoke about the five
Yes.
second things.
Yes.
What is your biggest message to the world, Mandy? If you had a stage to stand up and the whole world is listening, what is the one thing that you need to get off your chest, off your heart, that you need to say to them?
Your mess does not define you. Your mess is your message. I would love to share with folks and to continue and to be on a worldwide stage where people
Hmm.
realize that I could have died at 7. I could
Hmm.
have lost my mind. I could
Hmm.
have killed myself. But there is something within you, and you know what it is, and you've
Yeah.
seen it. And there's that
Yeah.
spark, that one thing that brings you happiness. If you have to do that every damn day until you can find who you are, then do it. Whether it's
Yeah.
walking your dog, cooking,
Yeah.
whatever. My message on my grand stage is I was a mess. And I'm
Yes.
turning it into a message, because I know
Okay.
someone will be able to take something, the 5, someone will be
Uh-huh.
able to take something and realize, okay, she got through it. I can get through
Uh-huh.
this. Because
Uh-huh.
we're a pack, whether we want to
Yes.
admit it or not. We're all
Yes.
separated by one thing, and we're a
Okay.
pack.
Yes. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Mandy. Tell me something in terms of the work that you do, uh, podcasting and so on.
Mhm.
How have you been able to merge that with any programs that the states are having? Have they been partnering with you in terms of dealing
Not
with
at the
people?
moment. No,
No?
no. I have a one of the largest foster advocates, Dr. John. We can just call him Dr. John Foster is what we call him.
Okay. Okay.
He's a foster care advocate and speaks internationally, globally, and
Uh huh.
stateside, and has been absolute. He's asked me to help kind of push and work alongside with him.
Right.
The amount of children who are in foster care. If I'm not mistaken, in the United States, there's over 1 million children in foster care.
Okay.
1 million. Think
Okay.
about that. Think about that. Little people
Okay.
in foster care. And I think the advocacy that I will continue to pursuing and to doing is to work with those advocates through my podcast and through my book and through making appearances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds enterprising. Okay, so you were staffing manager at Randstad
Yes.
USA. You still
Uh-huh.
are now?
No, I'm not. No, I'm literally just doing this. God has been so good to me that this
Uh-huh.
has turned into essentially my career, podcasting and
Uh-huh.
writing my book, and I'll be complete. Yeah, just this has turned into my job. So I'm very
Wow.
thankful. Yes,
Wow. Wow.
yes,
Okay, great. You are also a foster parent at SAFY of America. Tell us
exactly.
a bit about that.
So my foster children, our oldest son came
Mm-hmm.
from SAFI, which is the Special Needs Advocate in Kentucky. And they,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, they do have other entities throughout the US. But
All
as for
right.
what we did is we just adopted our little guy, Michael, who is now 19 and unfortunately is incarcerated. So
Oh,
he
okay.
is and he is one of those children who was a generational curse, if you will, of
Mm.
foster care. His mother
Mm-hmm.
was in foster care. Other
Mm-hmm.
members of her family had been in foster care. So there's
Yeah.
that generational curse that if maybe we had been able to give his birth mother a little
Uh-huh.
bit of a stipend so that she could take care of him even better, or that and I'm not talking about welfare, I'm talking about maybe helping specifically
Yeah.
foster children with education, home. I mean, all the basic necessities. At 18, you kick me out and I have a trash bag with my clothes in it.
Wow.
Can you believe
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Wow.
I'm trash. I mean, essentially that's
Yeah,
what it boils
yeah,
down to is you sent me away like I was
yeah,
trash
yeah.
with a trash bag with my clothes on it and $5. Like I was, yeah,
Wow. Sad.
it's
Really
horrible.
sad.
It's horrible.
Listen, there's so much happening in the world, and sometimes I kind of feel that we have failed ourselves as
Yes.
people,
Yes.
because we have allowed so much foolishness to take place, and we have allowed the leaders to get away with so much foolishness. But uh, putting that aside, what is the one thing that you wish you could eliminate in this world that it never existed?
Mhm. Cancer.
Cancer. Wow.
Yeah, my best friend.
Huh.
Sorry. Her mom, who's like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
she goodness, she has she has cancer and she is just as tenacious. And I ask her, we call her Khaki, and she's still working. And but just to see her hurting from that, because she is so good to me and that whole family just loves
Wow.
me dearly. And I just
Wow.
and my best friend, she also had breast cancer. And then my family that I had, my brother, I'll call him my brother, his wife passed of cancer, and it's just a horrific disease. And yeah, I would eradicate that tomorrow.
Wow.
So
It's
you keep
all
making me
right.
cry. I don't like
It's
that.
all right, Amanda. Listen, it's better for the tears to flow
Yeah.
where you can wipe them away on the outside
Mm,
than for
right.
it to flow on the inside and make
Yes.
scars that could come back to hurt you later. It's
Mhm.
refreshing when you cry. It's a form of release
It's healing. It
for
heals you.
that's right.
It
That's
heals you.
right. So it's all good. And you are all good. As a matter of fact, we are all good.
Yes. All of us.
We
All
are
of us.
all good. So you have been hearing from Amanda Lemond, Emmy Award TV winning producer, host of Foster Ed, the podcast, motivational speaker, author, and entrepreneur, telling us her fantastic, wonderful, inspirational, and passionate story. We're going to give her now some time to just share her handles, social media links, what she does, how she can inspire you, how you can access her service, and her upcoming memoir. So I'm going to stay in the background for a little bit, Mandy. It's all up to you.
Hi, guys. The easiest way to reach me, should you like for me to appear on your podcast or even do public speaking, have passport, will travel. My name, Amanda Lemon, it has a D on the end of it, .com. There's a link there that you can access my calendar, or you can follow me on social media at Twitter at Mandy Lemon, on Instagram, Mandy.lemon, or on LinkedIn at Mandy Lemon as well. So that's it. And my phone number, I want to give it to you, is 859-619-7575. If you ever are in a position where you feel like you're going to harm yourself or you just don't know what to do, as long as it's not a long distance call, I will take it. So I'm here. I'm here to help.
Thank you so much, Mandy. You are a wonderful breath of fresh air. And I continue to be inspired by your story and by the passionate way in which you deliver truth. And you're not afraid of the realities that exist in your life. And that, I think, is something that makes you really special, resilient, and centered. So we hope that you continue doing what you're doing and that all the plans that you have for your future be aligned with that which God has for you, and you continue to be successful. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are live in the breakout room on the Love Bits A channel, saying thank you so much for spending the time that you have spent with us. We hope that you continue to look for the 3 watchwords: health, happiness, and prosperity. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves, share some love. Until then, we say so long, Godspeed, Shalom, Namaste. Bye for now.